In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
C3 family, what it is. It's a Friday night. You already know what time it is. It's 7 p.m., baby. It's the Friday free-for-all. This is the show for C3 fans, by C3 fans. The show where you can come on and make your voice heard. The link to join the show is in the description of the YouTube and Facebook video. Listen, man. Cam Newton is back. Ron Rivera is coming back to town to try and ruin our party. And look, man, I've got some guys I'd party with no matter what day of the week it is joining me tonight. You already know them. You already love them. It's my man, Nick Montero. Nick, what's up, bro?
What's up, Cody? It's Friday night. Happy to be here, hanging out with the fans, getting ready to talk about some Cam Newton and beating that Washington ass.
That's right, man. I haven't felt as much energy going into a game like this in a long time, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Panther Pickle, Kenneth is with us. Kenneth, what's up, bro?
Just pounding away. Listening to the Falcon fans crying at work today, it made me feel a lot better.
Yeah,
I told him that little bit of secret I heard on NAS. Actually, I heard it on the NFL Network. I think it was the NFL Network stream. That the eclipse was supposed to be 3 hours and 28 minutes. Exactly the same night the Patriots were taking on the Falcons. And I was hoping against hope the end of the score would be 28-3. But
that would have been so good. It would have been so perfect. Listen, whenever Panther fans are hanging their head low and feeling sad and down and out about themselves, dude, just be thankful you ain't a fucking Falcons fan, bro. It could be a lot worse, man. It could be a lot worse. But once again, I'm joined by my favorite hunter from Maine. He's the man, Drew. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Cody? Ready for another great free-for-all show and looking forward to Cam Newton lighting up the bank on Sunday.
Yeah, man. Cam Newton has confirmed to be the starter. Man, just pumped, man. Yep. Pumped. Cam Newton's going out there. I'm interested to see what him and Joe Brady and the rest of our coaches have cooked up in this time. My man Justin joining us from Hawaii. Justin, what's up, bro?
Yo, not much, man. Just was waiting for the show to get started. Happy to be here to talk some football, some Carolina Panthers football. What you got?
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. And listen, you know him, you love him. He's been here for every Friday free for all. Kevin Boshoven. What's up, brother?
No, man. Hey, I got my Panthers starter jacket, 1990. So
that boy looking fresh.
It's actually really hot in my house. I gotta take this off.
Came in to flex for a minute. Hey, I feel it. I like that energy.
I come in fresh.
I love it, man. Hey, listen, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe. We just recently passed 3,000 subscribers. We fucking did it, boys. Let's go. We're building. We're getting better, man. Adding more fans to the C3 family. Again, hit the like, hit the subscribe. You already know what time it is. Let's jump into this conversation, man. Cam Newton has been confirmed to be the starter going into this game with the Washington football team. And I just kind of want your initial thoughts. Like, what are you thinking? I know everyone's optimistic, but what are you thinking when it comes down to this matchup? You know, I always get that fear every time the Panthers are heavily favored. Just because whenever we are, it's always like, oh man, either the cardiac catch return or we're, our stomach is in knots.
I feel like that was every team like root for.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm like that far ahead, I'm like, yeah, probably losing.
Yeah, so like that's what I want to ask everyone. Like, where are you feeling? What are your hopes? What are your fears? Tell me your hopes and dreams. Go ahead, Kenneth.
I'm just really curious about how much I feel that PJ is going to play a little bit, but I'm curious to see, is Cam going to play the whole game, or are they going to do? Cam's going to play some of it, PJ play some. I would like to see Cam play the first part of the game, and by halftime, PJ has to come because Falcons don't. Or the Washington did lost 40-0. But that's fine.
By the way, I wanted to play this clip. Tony made a funny comment about this earlier, but someone played this clip or they put this on Twitter of Cam Newton throwing this underhanded pass at practice. And Tony put something like, yeah, this is farther than that ball was thrown farther than any ball Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold threw as a Carolina Panther.
And it was accurate.
Yeah, man, dude. I'm telling you, man, Cam doesn't get enough credit for that arm angle, man. He was doing that kind of stuff too. And, Patrick Mahomes gets all the credit for it now. And rightfully so. But, yeah, my man Cam still got it, man.
Let's see him make that throw in the game, though.
Yeah.
Right. And look, that's another question I want to ask y'all, because I've been very vocal on every podcast I've been on, and I'm saying I'm expecting that we're going to see the best Cam Newton that we've ever seen. And, maybe I'm a fanboy, maybe I'm optimistic, whatever. But I feel like the circumstances that we have around him and all the pieces that we have around him, it is a scenario for him to be able to thrive in. But then we have some people that are like, well, Cam doesn't even have to do all that. Cam just has to be a game manager. Cam just has to protect the football, check it down. We're not going over the top. We didn't ask Teddy or Sam to really go over the top, even though I felt like they were kind of handicapped in not being able to do so. But what are your expectations for Cam Newton going forward in this offense? Is he going to throw it around, or are you hoping and expecting to see a more reserved, even kind of, playing underneath the system kind of Cam Newton?
For the first game, I expect very much low, like not too fancy, just a lot of read option. I think we're going to see a lot of that in the first game. I think eventually we're going to be hitting downfield, but like that first game, he's still trying to get that playbook down. I mean, that's a big playbook to learn. It
is, and Matt Rhule made it a point, or it was either Matt Rhule or Joe Brady that said that we're not necessarily trying to teach Cam the playbook right now. We're trying to teach him the game plan, meaning for Washington, right? Instead of trying to dump every single play on him, no, let's make a game plan. Let's make a plan of attack, and that's what they're trying to do with Cam Newton going forward. Justin, what kind of Cam Newton are you hoping to see, man? Justin, you with us? All right, we'll go to Nick. Nick, what kind of Cam Newton are you expecting? Well, okay, I shouldn't say hope, because we all hope that Cam comes out and torches everything, throws it around, and does all that. But is that reasonable? Am I expecting too much?
Yeah, my big thing is I want Cam to do what I wanted Sam Darnold to do, and that is check everywhere on the field. And when he doesn't have anybody open or available to throw to, make the play with his legs. Okay, Cam Newton, he is a true dual threat quarterback. He is built like a linebacker. You do not want that man running at you, because let's face it, he's just going to run you over.
He's bigger than Derrick Henry. Yeah, he's bigger than Derrick Henry. I mean, really, you can argue that he was Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry was.
Yeah.
But with how he run him and how physical he is, I maintain that Cam Newton is the biggest red zone weapon in the history of the NFL. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people might want to disagree with me, but
since he came in the NFL, he's had the most rushing touchdowns than any player.
I'm always going to say this because I love the style of running back, but the thought processes that we could have had Cam and Derrick Henry in one offense.
Yeah, man. They really could have.
Yeah, CMC though.
Yep.
Derrick
we could have had him too. But anyway,
we could have everybody.
Bravo.
A backfield with Cam and Derrick Henry, like the defense ain't getting no break whatsoever.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
hey, yo, I hope the quarterback keep it. Nah. Hey,
That
give it to the running back. Nah.
That read option go on would be deadly.
Yeah, man. But listen, and I think that's another thing that, when we're talking about Cam Newton and what we expect from him. Yo, QT, I better see you in this mug later, bro. Shit, don't think that we're not going to talk now that Cam Newton's back. Shit, you better recognize, bro. But, so, no, we're talking about Cam Newton, but I think one of the things that we have to continue to remember is that our offense, it still runs through Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're doing. We're going to run Christian, and we're going to ask Christian to do a lot. So that doesn't really put a ton on Cam Newton, I think, because the song remains the same. Get the ball into Christian McCaffrey's hands. Drew, what are you thinking about Cam? What are you expecting from him? And just what do you think about this offense in general? What are you expecting to see?
What I'm expecting Cam to be Cam. Don't ask him to be Sam Darnold. Don't ask him to be Teddy Bridges. You let Cam go out and be Cam Newton. That's why he plays his best ball. When he is Cam Newton, that's when he plays his best ball. He goes out there and he has fun. He slings it around and let him play free. You give him his plays. You say, these are the plays we're running, and then you let him go run it. Cam will get the ball who he needs to get the ball to. But if you try to constrict him and have him thinking too much that he's got to know, let Cam play football and be Cam Newton.
You see the Twitter video you put out, right? When you talk about the check boxes to where he was moving. He said, let me be me.
I think it's it's wild. I heard Matt Rhule talk about it, and I don't remember if it was Monday or probably the Monday clip. He was talking that the pass he threw deep to DJ Moore this past Sunday was actually supposed to be a shorter pass, but Cam saw something and threw it deep, and it ended up we ended up getting it through with the penalty. But
by the way, it got a penalty. By the way, a lot of people were like, "Oh, Cam underthrew that football."
That's right.
But I kind of looked at it as, well, if you intentionally underthrow that ball a little bit, that almost guarantees a pass interference.
Especially when the receiver.
Quarterback was going to come down with it, or they were going to throw the flag.
Yeah, 100%.
On that play, if I'm not mistaken, the corner had there was a safety coming over. So if Cam had put it any further out in front of DJ, it either gets picked or DJ gets blown up. So he honestly put the ball exactly where it needed to be, and
especially when the quarterback has his back to the the ball and trying to chase that.
For Cam Newton to be sitting out for 2 months, even if it was a little underthrown, it was a good pass. A lot better pass than the other two quarterbacks we've had the last
week. And that's what I'm saying. It was either going to be a completed catch right into the hands of DJ Moore, or it was going to be a pass interference call. Right. So either way, our offense is still moving, and I think Cam Newton's field vision, like that's been one of his most underrated aspects throughout his entire career. He sees the field very well. Whenever Cam Newton gets inaccurate, it's always related to footwork. And I mean always. It's always when his base isn't set. But when Cam actually has the proper footwork, there is not an area on the football field that Cam Newton can't affect. And that's what our offense has been missing so badly, man. I wanted to highlight this comment by Kyle Hampton. He says it can't be Truck and Cam anymore. We can't have him hurt. He needs to only use his legs to keep drives moving, to keep drives alive. And I think that is a good point. If we're going to say that we have to manage Christian McCaffrey and not let his body take a ton of damage, I think we should probably also be reminiscent of that with Cam as well.
Right.
I think Cam managed CMC too, his carries.
Yeah, everyone. Go ahead, Justin.
You asked earlier what type of Cam do I expect to see. The type of Cam I expect to see moving forward is just that I think Cam's understanding of the game at this point in his career is worlds better than what it was when he was younger. When he take off scrambling and he might drop his shoulder on linebacker to pick up an additional 2 or 3 yards. I don't think Cam's going to be willing to do that now. Like in the last game, he took off running and he'd get down before he took those shots. I do believe that if he needed to drop a shoulder on someone, he will. But I think he's gotten smarter about picking when and where he'll do it. Yeah. And his, like you said, his vision of the field, reading plays and things of that nature. I always was of the mind that the best way to settle Cam into the game was to give him a early option read, a design run play for him. Yeah. And I felt like that settled him down. And once he was settled, like, okay, we in the game, that's when his footwork in the pocket stayed sound. And that's where you got the lethal pocket passing version of Cam. And I think we can see that moving forward, but he won't need to be Superman in a sense. He can simply be Clark Kent because of all the weapons on the offensive side of the ball.
Or how about this? He can still be Superman, but he'll just let the Justice League pick up some of the scrubs, you know? We'll let, Christian McCaffrey's the Flash. We'll let him get some. DJ Moore's Batman. We'll let him be our gadget player in the end zone. But yeah, man, Locke's man said have to let a lion roar. That's what Cam famously said in one of his press conferences one day. And I think Justin kind of just said it right there too. Like, Cam Newton likes to run the football. And I think there are some players that sometimes they need to take a hit before they can get into the rhythm of the game. By the way, and the same thing is true for fighters too, like mixed martial artists and boxers. Hey man, sometimes you gotta get punched in the face before you're like, oh fuck, I'm in a fight. Yeah, it's time to throw down. I kind of feel like maybe Cam has a little bit of that mentality too. But
Cam's always known a lot of people will say, oh, he gets hit too much, but he was always known for sliding. I've always seen when he had open field and he had time to slide, he always took the slide.
Yeah, and again,
he dove kind of forward, but I mean,
and that's one of those aspects too that even if he may not have been a big slider early in his career, you definitely saw it later, and you know that he's learned that now. Yeah. That now he has to take care of his body. He
doesn't really slide. He kind of tumbles forward.
Yeah, and listen, one of the things I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to listen to Matt Rhule's press conference this week, but it was my favorite Matt Rhule press conference that I've ever heard. And listen, Matt Rhule has had some annoying pressers. He's had some pressers that were frankly kind of frustrating, and where he said some things I'm just like, dude, what are you even talking about? But he really, really hammered home that Cam Newton thus far has been the embodiment of everything that he wants to instill on the football team. It's an unparalleled work ethic. It's starting a winning football culture. After practice, Cam Newton ran a lap. I don't remember what it was for, but Cam Newton is doing this accountability thing that Matt Rhule has been preaching to the football team. And I feel like even Matt Rhule is kind of like, oh, okay, I get it now. This dude is the real deal, man. This guy is a leader that you can kind of, let lift up your entire football team. I want to pass this next question to everyone. And it's not really a question, but more of just a fun fact that I don't think any of us ever saw coming. The Panthers have allowed the fewest amount of sacks in the NFL over the past 3 weeks. Dude, is that not batshit insane or what? Like we're talking about the same Panthers offensive line, and this is a real stat for us, dude. That is crazy. Go ahead, Justin.
I apologize for cutting interrupting you.
No, you're good.
I was watching the 4-man rush, and I'm happy that you brought that up because they showed that I think over the last 3 or 4 weeks, if the O-line hadn't played as bad as it did within the first couple of games, they currently be ranked like mid-tier O-line. But over the last few weeks, we're at that O-line has actually been performing at a top 10 offensive line level, which is insane to think about.
Yeah, man, dude. And like, how about Michael Jordan? This is a guy that we were all kind of down on when you first started, but now that he's gotten some time and an opportunity to kind of get in rhythm, yeah, dude, Michael Jordan's been balling out. I think right now our only true weakness on the offensive line right now is right guard. I still kind of feel like that's up in air. But how about Pat Elflein playing center?
I was just about to say it.
Oh wow,
Dude, I love it, man.
That's
I love
amazing how much of a difference. I mean, I went back and looked a little bit. He played center his rookie year for the Vikings. Then they ended up taking a center in the second round and just kicked him over to guard like he was going to be a guard too, and he's been guard ever since.
Apparently he was he was on the all rookie team or something with the Vikings when they brought him in. Yeah. Like he played center at Ohio State, and he was like a damn good center in college. Then he was like on the all rookie team with the Vikings, and for whatever reason, NFL coaches seem to think that they're smarter than logic and shift guys over, like let him play the position he perfected at college, which is something I've been saying for the longest time, something that Cody's been, a lot of Panthers fans have been yelling.
Yes.
Right.
Let these guys play the position they played when they were in college.
And dude, look at Brady Christensen.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that Brady Christensen has played well at left tackle. It's not to say that he's won every rep that he's been in, but if you give him some time, he's a rookie. Mistakes, you have to let rookies make rookie mistakes, and a good coach has to let them know, hey man, you'll have that, but you have to do like a duck, let it roll off your back, and move on to the next one. And you have to continue to implement the proper technique in training.
He's
now we've done this well the last 3 weeks. My question is Matt Rhule going to screw it up in spite of himself?
Why'd you have to go there, man?
We do know John Miller just came off of IR.
Yeah, Matt was asked about Matt, and he said, well, he's going to practice a little bit, and that's about all Matt Rhule say. I don't think Matt Rhule's going to mess with it just because he's done that before and it's failed, and he's went,
you don't think, but ain't broken.
Exactly. Don't overthink it.
At this point, Matt Rhule's learning, granted slowly, that he don't necessarily know everything about everything. And sometimes, I mean, look at Brady Christensen. He's a prime example. Matt Rhule never viewed him as a quality left tackle, yet he's taking good left tackle reps and actually looks good at left tackle. So,
I would leave that offensive line alone and let them roll.
Right.
Yeah. The only caveat I have to that is if we go out there and I say like midway through the third, and we're completely blowing out the Red Wolves. Yeah. I would like to see them put Blastoise at right guard. Like just
at that point. Put Deontay Brown in.
He's still on IR.
He's designated to return though.
Yeah, I thought he was designated to return.
Well,
man,
he is,
and that's it.
He has to be active. Well, that could activate him tomorrow, though. That's true.
So Deontay Brown. I mean, again, I don't. If they activate him tomorrow, I wouldn't want him to play on Sunday. But listen, I think that Deontay Brown. I saw him play left guard and right guard at Alabama. I think he could do both, but I think right guard is probably his preferred position in the NFL. Dude, imagine Brady Christensen at left tackle, Michael Jordan at right guard, Pat Elflein at center, Deontay Brown at right guard, and then Taylor Moton at right tackle. Like, dude, that would be if we could get that lineup rolling, man, and have the pass protection to be able to throw the ball. Christian's going to be able to run. Like, man, look, you understand why Panther fans are excited right now. Like, we're piecing all these things together, and it just feels like everything's kind of culminating in this moment.
I'm a little too worried about how happy we all are.
Okay. I was glancing.
We were happy with Sam Darnold at one point.
Dante Brown was designated to return at the same time Brendan Ziltra. So Dante Brown's probably been practicing, but all they got to do is do however. I mean, they can designate to return tomorrow and play him Sunday.
The thing that has me most excited with, because if I'm not mistaken, the offensive line has been better at run blocking than it has been at pass blocking.
Right.
And you have possibly the greatest quarterback to ever, utilize the read option. There's a play against the Cards where Cam and CMC, and they run the read option, and for maybe a second, it causes the linebacker to freeze. He's there, and I say if it was any other running back, he's probably able to stop the running back for 3-4 yards. But I had forgotten how amazing CMC actually is when he's running the ball when the ball's in his hand. That 1 second delay caused him to get behind the linebacker, and then when the first defender did make contact with him, he picked up another 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah.
When Cam runs that read option, it is lethal. When he runs it with any running back, it becomes absolute and utter murder. He runs it with CMC.
It opens up the pass game too.
Yeah.
When you fake the run, just toss it up, DJ.
So
having both of those two together, like, listen, the Panthers should never be in a short yardage scenario and not have an easy answer.
No more goal line, red zone fuck ups anymore.
Dude, who did you cover, man? I mean, dude, that RPO has the potential to be absolutely lethal, man. But you're gonna, you're gonna
legitimately call the same play over and over, like you're playing someone on a video game. And they just had that one combo they keep playing. Brady can legitimately
like the Dolphins did to the Ravens the other night. They just kept zero blitzing and kicking Lamar's ass, man. Yeah, our offense might do the same thing on offense. Just continue to run the same things, man. Cam, give him the option to throw it or keep it or hand it off to CMC. Like, we have options, man. We have options. And, now, okay, I've been one of Joe Brady's bigger defenders. I think people can say that's true about me. But now, like, it's time to put up or shut up. The offensive line is playing better football than it ever has. You now finally have a franchise quarterback under center. Christian McCaffrey is back healthy. You have your receivers that are all motivated. Everyone's ready to go. We better damn sure see the best of Joe Brady.
Robbie looks
better.
State of mind too.
Yeah, man. It's like everyone on the team is feeling it. Our coaches should be feeling it too.
Smiles these days.
Yeah, man.
Because he got paid and he doesn't have to catch balls from Sam Darnold. You'd be all smiles too.
Right.
I think Robbie's going to have a deep touchdown pass this year.
Do you think he was dropping balls just so Sam Darnold would get benched?
No, I don't see him doing that.
Dude, I was watching just some highlights of Cam going back to some of his seasons, and dude, envision all of the incredible passes that he threw to Ted Ginn Jr., which, by the way, Cam Newton rejuvenated Ted Ginn's career. That goes without saying.
From the Saints.
Yeah, 100%, man. Got him paid elsewhere. But, like, Ted Ginn had kind of been considered a bust up until that point.
Yep.
But then here comes Cam Newton, and they have that connection. Dude, I'm thinking that Robbie Anderson, Cam Newton over the top, that might be the Cam Newton Ted Ginn 2.0.
They both have problems dropping passes. I mean,
I know, right? But now him and Cam both got the same hair, man. They got the same vibe, the energy, man. Like
the hair. That's what's going on.
The wicked thing, because I was watching, it's the highlight. It's a video up on YouTube. It's like every Cam Newton touchdown pass in his career.
Dude, that's how I know YouTube. Dude, YouTube pumps out all the same videos to all of us. Because that was literally the video that I was watching, Justin.
While I was watching that video, the thing I was reminded of, I didn't realize how many one-handed catches Greg Olsen had, and I had forgotten how quick Greg Olsen was, and when he was in his prime. Like there's one play where he it's like a little 5-yard dump off, and Greg turns, and it's the defenders are there, but it's like you could tell by the way he turned, they weren't catching him. And I'm sitting there watching like, yo, Greg Olsen wasn't that dude. Like he wasn't. He was that dude.
He really was, man. Dude, he made a bunch of one-handed catches. Greg Olsen doesn't get enough credit for what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a little underrated fact I like to say about Greg Olsen. And because it is true, he is the first. Well, we all know that's true. But he's the first tight end in NFL history with 3 back-to-back 1,000 receiving yards. And even Cam and Greg at the time said, man, you think that would have happened by now? But no, man, lo and behold, Cam Newton and Greg Olsen, they're the guys that completed that. And how about this, man? Greg Olsen has always said, how much Cam Newton meant to his career. And that Cam Newton was the best thing to ever happen to Greg Olsen's career.
It's the same with Ian. I don't think a lot of people realize Ian's best year was his rookie year, and that was Cam. That was the 2018 season when Cam's shoulder, he took that shot and his shoulder wasn't right. Ian had around 500 yards receiving with like 2 or 3 touchdowns. So like you say, Robbie and Cam can be what Cam was with Peg in. Shit, you got Ian and Tommy Tremble, so Cam could easily replicate the connection he had with Olsen and Jeremy Shockey and Ian and Tommy.
And hey man, how about like my man Jay Sue says in the chat, when we're gonna let Terrace Marshall get some of these yards, man? Like we got a whole lot of mouths to feed, and that's another thing. Remember in 2015, Cam Newton won the MVP doing what? Spreading the ball around. Spreading the ball around, man. We have all the. Hey man, we got that spread, man. That PBJ, bro. We got that spread over here in Carolina. Like there's nothing that we shouldn't, in theory, be able to do with Cam Newton. We can go over the top. We can affect the middle of the football field. We can be dangerous in RPO. And how about this? The blessing in disguise is that through Christian McCaffrey's injury, we also found out that we have 2 serviceable running backs that can come in and do the job in Chuba Hubbard and Amir Abdullah.
Yeah,
Butcher.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, dude, the Carolina might have that squad, y'all.
There should always be somebody open. I mean, there's no reason for somebody not to be open.
Right.
You had a QB to actually find them now.
You're Abdullah. What kind of luck have you had? You actually get cut by the Falcons because they couldn't trade you. You ended up being picked up by the waivers from the Panthers, and your skill set is exactly what we need on this team and fits very well.
They can have CMC and him in the backfield and just have them both go out for passes.
Bro, they can learn DJ Moore. Like, I was thinking about the triple option where you have like DJ on the left side, Cam in the shotgun with CMC on his right. You hike the ball. You can give it to CMC if the DN keys in on Cam. You can give it to CMC. All the while, you got DJ coming into the backfield. Cam can pull it, run to the right. Oh, there's a linebacker here. Pitch it to DJ. And the defense is going to be all types of discombobulated.
You can put Chuba at the fullback.
I really don't think that we have to like change positions. We just need to let the guys do what they do. Like, so for example, later on, if we're up big on those, plays that you would have Christian McCaffrey act as a receiver, you put in Amir Abdullah. If you want to just churn and get some yardage and, grind out the defense, put in Chuba. Let them go. Let them feast. Let this offensive line continue to feel that mojo, man, especially with them playing their best football.
That read option is going to be dangerous for us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, dude,
that plays into why the offensive line also has been getting better. Like you talk about Michael Jordan's progression and his mentality, his play is I think it's like it's infectious, similar to how Cam's energy is just infectious to the team. Jordan has been out there getting out the guys. So then when you open up a lane, and it might not be the biggest lane, but then you see CMC just spurt through, and it's a 6, 7, 8, 9 yard run. And then a CMC come out, Amir, you go in, oh, let me go get my 6, 7 yards. And you pull Amir out, and it's demoralizing to a defense.
It's Thanksgiving, bro. Hey, it's Thanksgiving, and everyone's about to eat.
I'm expecting to see a serious uptick in the offensive performance as the weeks. So early this week, there's been a debate prior to Matt Rhule stating that Cam was going to start. There were people saying that, questioning whether or not we should run a 2-quarterback system, so on and such. I was of the mindset that we should start Cam, because when you look at these, the next 5 weeks, when you include the bye week, that just gives Cam more time to get more familiar with the offense. But these next 4 opponents are not world beaters. No. They can treat these games with the defense playing the way that it's been playing. You could treat these games as if they were scrimmages for Cam. So then when the last 4 games of the season come around, like Cam's better, he's more familiar with the offense. Like no one's afraid of the Red Wolves. Nobody's afraid of the Dolphins. The Falcons just got murked on Thursday night.
Especially with Chase Young out.
Yeah. By the way, I like that you're already calling them the Red Wolves. You like that?
Yeah. So I still think PJ will get he'll get a few plays out there. I don't think Matt's gonna just stick him on the bench and not put him in at this point.
How old is PJ, by the way?
He's like 27.
Something like that, yeah.
Both him and Pat Efline are like 27. So
I think he's gonna start the entire fourth quarter because we're gonna be whooping the Washington Red Wolves. So, and I'm gonna keep calling them the Red Wolves because I like that name.
You're gonna will it into existence. I like that. I like that. And you got the wolf, and you have the wolf avatar too, man. It's perfect.
Trademark.
I have an affinity for wolves.
Yeah, I do. Wolves are cool, bro. Hey, real quick, y'all want to see something cool as shit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Always.
The Carolina sneaking into the playoffs. You know why? That's why I got on my Michael Jordans today, because you gonna shoot some threes. Now, Cam Newton and excitement, all that stuff. But let me tell you something. That defense is playing slobber knocker kind of football. They hung with the Dallas Cowboys for
he was getting better, man.
8 small 5 but we were still in the game. Offensively, we just don't have it. But with all of the things that's going on, Cam Newton, PJ Walker, whoever it is that's playing quarterback, defense keeps showing up, keep carrying that team. Pass rush number 1, pass defense number 2. I love what the Carolina Panthers are doing.
Bro, isn't it cool that Steve Smith is like back to being a diehard fan of the Carolina Panthers?
Michael Irvin called him out for being a homer, and he said, "Yep."
Oh,
keeping up
says Michael Irvin, the biggest fucking homer that there is.
Exactly.
Fuck off. Yeah, man.
I remember when Steve Smith said he called himself Dr. Smith, and they were like kind of like fake beefing with him and Michael. Yeah. He's like, "Don't worry, Michael, I got something for your little sniffles." I'm like, yeah.
Bro, I feel like Steve Smith is always ready to steal off on Michael Irvin. Like he's always ready to like slip in a quick jab. Bro, dude, it's hilarious, man. Hey, real quick, we have 118 people watching. I believe we got somewhere around 50 likes. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the like, hit the subscribe. And again, if you didn't know, you can join the show. The link is in the description of the YouTube and the Facebook video. If you want to come in and hang out and talk Panthers football, you're more than welcome to do that. Hit the like button. But I wanted to pivot to this.
Hey, Cody, before you go say something?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask a quick. When do they announce like the newest members of the Hall of Fame? Because Steve Smith should be on this new ballot, right?
I don't know when they. I think it's towards the end of the
Yeah,
season.
he was up for running for it.
Yeah, I want to go if he gets in.
The
I wanna go
selection,
to-
and then they short it down, and he's part of the selection thing.
Yeah.
They did that during the week Hall of Fame game. He was among it, but he's not like one of the five, or he wasn't one of the finalists. But I don't know when they do that. I don't think it's toward the end of the year.
I want to go when he gets in.
That would be fun.
And real
Dude,
quick,
you know he
Cody,
would have an incredible speech. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
so I got a question for you guys, and then I'll build off of that. Abdullah, how are his hands? How do you think he is catching the football?
I think he's much better than Chuba.
That's not that hard. I mean,
Yeah.
Mir
So-
catches the ball similar to CMC. Like they catch it with their hand. Chuba's more of a body catcher.
Yeah. So I have a mission for Joe Brady. Come up with some play that has Cam Newton, PJ Walker, Christian McCaffrey, and Amir Abdullah on the field at the same time. That would drive
That's
the
all I'm saying,
defense
yeah, have them all in
absolutely
the backfield.
insane, dude. Think about it, man. I don't know how you would do it, but
Give
if
me
you
all
had
those.
four of
Give me
those-
all those players again.
Christian McCaffrey,
Christian
Cam
McCaffrey,
Newton,
Cam Newton,
PJ Walker,
PJ
and Abdullah.
Walker.
Newton,
Oh,
like,
dude, I can even see
Have
something
PJ
like
at quarterback, put CMC out at the slot, have Abdullah and Cam and the running backs.
or how about this? You motion out Christian McCaffrey, like do one of those jet sweeps where Christian or like you fake the handoff and then you give it to the like PJ Walker on the jet sweep, go in the opposite direction. Then let Cam Newton run downfield and let PJ Walker chuck that bitch down the field to Cam Newton.
Cam Newton does have a touchdown.
Cam Newton does a moss on a corner.
Yeah, and listen, you know, look,
Man, if he did that
you
for
know-
a touchdown, Bank of America Stadium would blow up.
and,
Doesn't
th-
Cam Newton
and
have a-
listen,
doesn't
you
Cam
know
Newton-
that Cam Newton has made it a thing for a long time. He wants to catch a touchdown pass.
I was about to say,
He's been saying that forever that he wants to.
but
catch
didn't
a
he have a one rushing touchdown, one passing, and one receiving touchdown in a game?
Yeah, Jacoby Myers threw him one last year.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, it
even
never
before
happened
that,
as
didn't
a
it?
Panther though.
Yeah, as a
No,
Panther.
I don't
didn't
think.
he?
I don't think it ever happened
No,
as a
not as a
Panther.
His rookie year.
Because he was that was one of the things that he was saying that none of his offensive coordinators ever did in Carolina.
I swear
They
he
never
did.
let him have a chance to go up and play receiver, man. Let him moss him for it.
Didn't he have like a screen pass? Like they threw it right to him and he ran it in for a touchdown.
Unless I'm forgetting about it.
His rookie year.
I don't remember it. No.
I'm gonna look it up real fast.
I would say Jonathan Stewart was the one that threw it to him.
So yeah, Karen Choi seems to remember it. Yeah, I mean maybe it did. Maybe I just wiped it from my memory. I don't know, man. But
He's also the only quarterback in NFL history to rush for a touchdown, throw for one, and catch one all in the same game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, for the Panthers, right? His rookie year.
No, he did that last year with the Patriots.
so, Kenneth, go ahead and read out what you put in the chat.
the NFL announced that there was 122 nominates for the 22 class of the Hall of Fame. Of course, Steve Smith leads the group. Of those, the 25 semifinalists, that will be reduced to 25 people in November, and then 15 finalists in January before the selection committee chooses the class of 22. So it's got to go dwindle down several. But not just Steve Smith. Other Panthers in this group are Sam Mills, Jared Allen, defensive end Jared Allen, quarterback Jake Delhomme, tight end Wesley Walls, wide receiver Musid Muhammad, Jordan Gross, and John Casey.
Jordan Gross will get in.
Of those groups, the only one I think that has a chance of getting in anytime soon would be Sam Mills.
Yeah, Sam Mills for legacy.
Yeah.
Jake Delhomme. I don't think
I love
Dillon's
Jake,
not
but he's not.
Yeah, I mean, y'all would have to tell me, man.
I grew up watching Jake. Yeah, he had 3 or 4 good years, and then he got the Tommy John surgery, and he was done.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Jared Allen. You know,
That
he
was-
had that. Yeah, listen, he was great in 2015 when he was able to come in and play for us.
Yeah.
I agree with Kevin, though. I still view him as a Viking more than a
Viking.
Panther, but
Right.
okay. And then I think the
People say
name,
that Sam Mills though.
yeah, but also Sam Mills.
He had the legacy to keep.
But I
going.
think it was different because his legacy. Yeah, he
Right.
may have played most of his meaningful football with New Orleans, but his legacy continued
Carolina.
here. And this
we
is
have
where
the statue of him.
Yeah, we're the ones with the statue of him. We're the one with the keep pounding motto because of Sam Mills. Sam Mills is a Panther, man.
Yeah.
And his son was working here.
Coach.
Does his son still work here?
I think he does.
I think he does.
Is he a coach though? I remember he was a coach at one point. He was a linebacker coach.
I don't remember what he does. I don't remember.
We'd have to look that up.
I'll
But
look that up.
yeah, but so this is a question that I've been wanting to ask you all, because this isn't just a homecoming for Cam Newton. We also got Ron Rivera coming to town, y'all.
Tyler.
So yeah, Taylor Heineke coming back to town.
Mhm.
Marty Herney.
Mm.
But this is my question to all of you. Whoever wants to jump in on this first. Is there any fear in your mind that Ron Rivera, who knows Cam Newton all too well, will be able to prepare a defense that's able to keep Cam Newton in check? Or do they just not have the roster? What are you feeling about Ron Rivera going up against Cam Newton? We'll start with
Ron
Nick.
Rivera couldn't even beat Teddy Bridgewater.
That's true. Go ahead, Nick. I know you've had some thoughts on this.
I'll keep it simple. Screw all those missed opportunities.
All right. I hear that. I hear too many of them. Too many of them.
He don't have the personnel, and I don't think there's a game plan out there that is going to, similar to LeBron James, you're not going to just stop Cam Newton. And even if you do sell out to stop Cam Newton, what are you going to do with TMC? What are you going to do with DJ Moore? What are you going to do with Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall?
Yep.
It's-
Too many weapons, man.
Embarrassing.
And their defense is hurt too. They're missing Chase Young. They don't have Montez Sweat. I mean, their interior of their defensive line is where the strength of their defense is. So as long as we're agile and can run to the outsides, do some RPOs, do that kind of thing, run away from the strength of their defense, I think we'll be okay. Is there anything from a game plan perspective any of you think they might be able to implement to stop Cam Newton? I mean, they would really need their linebacker position to play well, and apparently they're struggling at linebacker this year.
He knows
He's a spy on him, but I mean,
the interior of
He
their
did,
defensive line. The interior of their defensive line is good. It's the only right now. It's their only pass rush with their two stud defensive ends, both on IR right now.
He
So,
did coach
yeah.
Cam Newton for like 9
Yeah.
years, so
So
that is
that-
something to worry about.
Yeah, that's what I'm
also-
saying.
That
Has
also
anyone-
being that
ahead,
also
Ken.
being one of our weaknesses, offensive line wise. You always got that possibility that they could pretty much collapse the interior. But with the stable and the weapons we have, I still don't think that's going to stop us because Christian McCaffrey can run outside all day long.
Yeah.
When they decide he's tired, they can give it to somebody else.
Yep.
Anyone
Hey,
else seen?
Go ahead, Justin.
Has anyone else seen the YouTube series Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
Oh yeah, it's been a long time, but yeah, I used to watch that shit all the time.
Hey, you know how Vegeta, like when they're explaining to Vegeta how strong an opponent is, and he's like, I as a Super Saiyan relish the thought.
Yeah.
I feel like Cam Newton and the Panthers probably had a little bit of that mentality, like, oh, the interior, your D line's the strength. We as a Carolina Panthers relish the thought, and we're gonna run straight at you guys.
Yeah, and dare you to do anything about it, man. Hey man, look, I think this would be a big game for Pat Elflein and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, we're singing their praises about what they're doing from the interior. I mean, listen, they're going to have a very big test on their hand this Sunday with Jonathan Allen. And I forget the other guy's name. Someone's going to have to look that up for me. But also, real quick, let's welcome Team Money to the show. Team Money, what's up, bro?
What up, y'all? What up?
Chilling, man, chilling. Hey, what you think about Ron Rivera coming home? Do you think he's going to do anything specific to try and slow down Cam Newton because he has so much of a history with him? What are you thinking about this matchup?
I mean, I don't really think there's anything that he can do. I mean, I think his best bet would have been to use Chase or Montez Sweat as the spies, maybe. But, I mean, you don't really have that as an option anymore. So I don't think he'll have nothing that can just outright stop us.
Yeah.
Deron
Payne.
Yeah.
And I remember liking him a ton in college, too, man.
They've also got a guy named Tim Settles and Matt Laurinaitis. I know Tim Settles a lot because I use him on Madden, but that doesn't count. I always trade hardly nothing for him. He plays good on Madden, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and then look, we haven't even talked about the defense yet. How about this? No one was on the injury report. No one.
That's
like
cool.
Absolutely no one. The Panthers are healthy right now. Brian Burns is good to go. Reddick is good to go. Stephon Gilmore is good to go. Like, we really haven't even, touched on this defense yet. And that's going to be one of the biggest aspects of this game is what in the hell is Taylor Heineke going to do with this Panthers defense? And real quick, before we continue the discussion, let's welcome Brad. Brad, what's going on, bro? Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Dude, happy to have you, man.
Hey, you're still alive after that bet with Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, don't bring that up, okay? I'm still trying to start.
Yeah. Hey, man, you didn't have to, reopen that wound.
My bad, man.
Yeah, man, happy you can join us. Let's get into this matchup from a defensive perspective. Like, I think partly that's why all of us are so, enthused about the football team right now. Because even if Cam Newton and the offense still has some kinks to iron out, we're still depending on this defense to fly around, be savage, and listen. I foresee a scenario where Taylor Heineke has a very, very bad day.
Yeah, no, he's the reality of the matter is that this team is their floor is 9-8. Their ceiling is they can very well contend for a Super Bowl as long as Cam Newton is an average quarterback. I mean, honestly, that's the reality. Like, as long as he's just average, because that's all we need is we need somebody to not turn the ball over and occasionally make plays, then this is a Super Bowl caliber team. That defense is no joke, right? And I don't think – and you got to remember, they've eaten – Tyler Heineke at the end of the day is still a backup quarterback in the NFL, and they've eaten backups' lunches this entire season.
They have, man. They've been so aggressive. And then Hassan Reddick is playing so well. Everyone's playing so well. Hey, real quick, let me add someone to the conversation. This next guy, I'm going to be on his podcast tonight talking about some Arcane League of Legends, talking about some Shang-Chi. It's the man, you know him and love him, the Stat Daddy, the Bat Daddy. What's up, brother?
Bad Daddy in the house. Pew, 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 pew.
Let's go. Hey, Friday free for all is lit, man.
Yeah, man, we're going to talk about a lot of fun stuff tonight, but I'm here to talk some Panthers football right now. Get a little pregame in for the big show tonight. So, yeah, what's up,
man? Yeah, man. We're just kind of trying to touch on all aspects of this football game. If you want, and by the way, for anyone who wasn't here, Team Money, Brad, Bat Daddy, whoever wants to talk about the offense and go back and talk about Cam, even though we've already talked about it, feel free. It's a Friday free for all. It's your show. But right now, the question that I've been posing is, what does Ron Rivera being across the field do to our offense? Is there any chance that he might have a game plan cooked up to slow down Cam Newton at all, if at all? You know, what are we thinking?
You got to remember, Cam Newton wasn't playing football for 2.5 months. I mean, that's something that you can't discount that. That's the first point I'd like to make. The second one is that the interior of their defensive line is no joke. I mean, they have some serious pass rushers on the interior of the Washington football team's offensive line.
True.
And, you know, we've kind of already seen what game plan that neutralizes Cam Newton, right? That the Denver Broncos did it in Super Bowl 50. And Ron Rivera was there for that. It was a matter of you stack the box and you force Cam Newton to beat you with his arm. That's kind of, I think that's probably going to be his game plan. I mean, that's got to be his game plan, right?
Yeah.
And that's his game plan. He's going to get beat because we didn't have nearly the amount of weapons in Super Bowl 50 that we have now.
Agreed.
But again,
they don't have nearly the amount of talent on their defense that the Broncos did in that Super Bowl.
That's true. But there's got to be rust. I mean,
well, hold on. Let's go to Bat Daddy, and then we'll go to Justin.
I think that with Ron Rivera being there, he'll have a slight advantage, but it won't be in kind of the situation we think. He won't have any real idea about how Cam Newton's going to play or what the offensive plays are going to be, because this is a totally different team than what he had when he was there. Different offensive coordinator, different head coach. So the offense is only what he's going to be able to see on tapes. However, what he will have advantage to is Cam Newton's tendencies. Yeah. When Cam's in this position, what does he tend to do? When he starts doing this, like he'll have that advantage. Now, sure, perhaps Cam has advanced since then or changed some of those tendencies, and maybe he has. But that might be, I think, the only advantage that Rivera will have. But it's a good one to have.
I agree.
Yeah.
He could try to manipulate Cam in that way, in the sense of, hey, if we blitz heavy on their right side of the line, Cam's gonna spin out the other way.
Right.
I mean, that's the only way that I could see it.
It's a game of chess.
Maybe
Cam's thinking knows that and thinking, you know.
One thing I think is something to look for also, because now that Cam's actually had like a week of practice with the ones, the cadence, his ready cadence, combine that with how loud the VOA is probably going to be on Sunday. We're going to get some additional yards on getting the defense to jump.
Dude, listen, I know that you guys have. If any of you have been on Twitter for any length of time, I know you've probably already seen it. But that 2015 game where Cam Newton was playing
like 3 times.
Yeah, and dude, he would just get them to jump like it was nothing, man. His cadence was lethal in 2015. And, you know, something we haven't mentioned yet is that the stadium, we're actually feeling like it's going to look like a Panther football game, man.
Thanks to Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks to Cam. We're expecting it to be lit.
Donating tickets?
That's another thing, man. Cam Newton really wants to have that Panther presence back at Bank of America Stadium, man. He's giving out 50 tickets to Panther fans that have never really been to a Panther game before. Dude, Cam is a culture changer. Like, I don't care if you're the biggest Cam Newton hater in the world, you cannot deny that the Panthers are more fun with Cam Newton. And Panther fans get more involved with this football team when Cam Newton is the quarterback, man. That goes without saying. Real quick.
2 weeks ago, we were talking about we're ready for the draft. We wanted the season to be over.
Right?
We couldn't take
it. I mean, what's
now
scary,
we're talking about trying to make the playoffs.
I don't think we need to be talking about making the playoffs. There's a real. I mean, I said this in the town hall last Sunday night. We can win the division. Like this, that's a real thing. I mean, Tampa Bay looked vulnerable when they played Washington last week. So I mean, I don't know if that's a more credit to Tampa Bay or a credit to Washington, but I mean, they looked vulnerable. They can be beat. We can win the division if we do this right.
100%. We all saw the Falcons. Go ahead, Justin.
The way the defense is playing, like defense travels, we could very well win a division, and if the offense comes along the way I expect them to, like you could possibly see the Panthers in the Super Bowl.
I told somebody that when it comes to Buffalo, I said we have a defense and we can run the ball. So I don't know, like this. Oh, it's gonna be so the weather in Buffalo is. I mean, we not a high passing. We can run the ball and play defense and win games.
Yeah, and listen,
Well-
it's like what I said earlier. We have Christian McCaffrey and Chuba Hubbard and Amir Abdullah have stepped up in a real big time way, man. So if we're able to run the football, that should be able to travel. And then when you incorporate the RPO, like now, I thought that Buffalo was going to trounce us. Now I think we actually stack up pretty well with them. Real quick before we go forward, Corey Broomery with the $4.99 says, as much as I'm not a JB fan, Mike Shula was nowhere near as creative as JB, and Jay Stu is not Christian McCaffrey.
That's
Hey,
a
man.
fact.
I do like, and I think
both hurt.
that goes to a point that a lot of people have been saying that the Panthers, they have never had better weapons around Cam Newton than they do right now, man. And I think that's just a matter of fact.
Well, and the thing there's a lot of Joe Brady slander. I mean, for as much as I'll admit this season his play calling hasn't been fantastic, but like you can only put so much lipstick on that pig, right? You can only work with what you've been given. And when you're giving Sam Darnold, what do you expect him to do? I mean, he can't magically turn Sam Darnold into Tom Brady. I mean, I know that's what they tried to build to us, but that's not reality.
Yeah. You know what bothers me the most with Joe Brady, I think, and I've really thought this through, and now that he has a quarterback that I feel like he may be able to actually do something with, you're absolutely right. He was set up to fail with Sam Darnold. I tried to stand behind Sam Darnold, but he was set up to fail, and I was wrong about that. My thing is, I just don't think I'll give Joe Brady a chance, but I'm tired of hearing him in the talks for head coaching positions because he's not there. He's nowhere near there. He doesn't deserve that. He deserves a chance. But he hasn't proven anything to me that makes him.
I don't even think he deserves an interview.
I agree.
Well, I mean,
I don't even think he deserves an interview. Yep.
Along those lines, though, I mean, he's pretty much going to get the LSU job. I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
The alumni's already made the selection. They've already said, he's who we want as our next head coach. Once that's done, all that's really left is signing the paperwork. So, I mean, he's gone after the season. That's just the reality. But I think that this will be a much better gauge of what kind of offensive play caller he actually is, right? I mean, again, we don't need Cam Newton to be Superman. We don't need him to be 2015 Cam Newton MVP level. We need him to just be average, right? If he's just average, this defense can win a Super Bowl.
Oh, 100%.
Let me ask you then, if he ends up just say, for instance, we end up finishing 11-6, finish out 7-1 the last week of the season, have a great 6-1. Sorry, last week of the season. Do you think he reconsiders taking that LSU job? Because now you might have Cam Newton where you can have multiple years of having a great offense and putting up numbers and being a contender, and then you are worthy of a head coaching position job in the NFL.
I think
that would depend on what his goals are.
I hear.
Well, and if he finishes 6-1, then he's going to get offered NFL head coaching jobs. I mean, that's the reality.
Yeah,
you're probably right.
The biggest part that I didn't understand was he got all the coaching interviews in the world last year, but yet Todd Bowles and Brian Leftwich didn't get one. And
I thought it was bullshit.
It's a messed up system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so like this is my thing with Joe Brady. It's gonna depend on what he wants. I think that he's gonna get the benefit of the doubt, and I think Brad is correct. I kind of think if LSU had their druthers, they'd pick Joe Brady. However, if I am Joe Brady and I have aspirations of being an NFL head coach, which, let's be real, if you had to pick between the two, I get that they both pay a lot, but to be an NFL head coach, you're the coach of men, and you're not having to keep track of students and recruiting and all this other shit. If I'm Joe Brady, I would stay planted in Carolina for another year.
But
especially,
the difference is, and some people like it, you don't have anybody to answer to. You making your own roster,
right? I understand that, but thinking about it from a
job opportunity, really.
But thinking about it from the perspective that he's only going to be 32 years old, You know, if he had another year, I mean, let's say he has a great rest of the year with Cam Newton. You know, at the end of this year, he might decide, okay, I'm going to do this one more time, continue to build up my play calling abilities, and then go be the head coach of literally any NFL team that comes
It also
out.
depends what openings are available. Like, I doubt he's going to go.
That and the other thing you have to remember too is, you know, unfortunately, Carolina pushed all their chips into the center of the table this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've traded so many assets, we've paid players we shouldn't have. I mean, all our chips are in the center of the table. You look at next year, right? We only signed Cam Newton to one for the rest of the season, right? He's a free agent at the end of the year, and what are you going to? He's going to command at least $20 million a season to come back next year. I mean, at the very least, right? So that means that if he commands, let's just assume he commands 21 million, right? So 21 million plus the 19 for Sam Darnold, you're already at $40 million in the quarterback position, plus 3 million, because we're still going to be paying 3 million of Teddy Bridgewater's salary next year too. So we're going to be dedicating 43 or more million dollars to the quarterback position. That means you're not signing Hassan Reddick. That means you're not signing Stephon Gilmore. That means you're probably not extending Dante Jackson. I mean, that's a lot of players that are instrumental to your defense that are wild.
I think we should sign and trade Jackson and sign Gilmore.
But I think that they should have. I mean, if they were gonna honestly do that, they would have. Don't you think they would have already done it? I mean, maybe that's
where they should have done it.
Yeah.
So I mean, not to rain on.
Y'all seen the way Matt Rhule was gushing about Dante Jackson. I think he's definitely gonna get an extension.
I believe they really believe
that's never a good sign for a player.
Yeah,
but
about the trade too. Like, if
I know I'm gonna mess up this name, but I believe it's Amir Suleiman, the guy who is our cap specialist in our front office now. Yeah, he has done a tremendous job. I think if this team wins this year and we have a good trajectory going forward, I see us being able to keep some of the guys that we need to resign. I don't know about.
I mean, you end up doing the same thing that you did this year. You get guys like Shaq, Christian to convert, restructure. Convert their salaries into signing bonuses. All
a numbers
game. To the salary cap.
Yep.
I think Gilmore will sign for less if we.
Yeah, Gilmore's going to sign for less.
Well, and that's another thing. We have to consider, like, you know, a lot of people are saying that Stephon Gilmore might take a hometown discount.
I think he will.
Yeah, I mean,
Cam might take a hometown discount, y'all. To be truly honest with you, Cam.
He's done it.
He wants to be here.
20 million is
less than Sam
At the end of the day, he was
agree.
willing to play in New England on a
$1 million
contract.
Yeah,
that's insane.
You got to remember when they signed Cam here a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago. You got to remember Cam wanted a 2 or 3 year deal, and so did the organization.
The Panthers,
right. It just wasn't. It was a matter of the price, right?
It was Cam wanted at least 3, and the Panthers wanted 2.
So the desire is there for him to play more than this year,
right?
And as long as both sides have that desire, then I think it's going to get done.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you guys had to sign Cam, how many years would you sign him for? Because I mean, my thought was we should have signed him to a 3-year deal, but I understand only signing him for a year, given the previous injury history that he had here.
If he's I probably would have went 2. I probably would have went 2.
Yeah, but that's probably a 2-year deal after this season. 2 or 3 years. They'll do a 2-year deal.
So, but that's why Samir Suleiman is a name that I want to continue to emphasize, because I think when you do have a guy that's really good with the money and can sign the contracts, I think they're going to be able to work out Cam Newton to a 2 or 3 year deal that's still going to give them the ability to sign players. So, for example, I can see them giving him a lot in the signing bonus, so that way they still have some room to play and be flexible to bring in other football players. I mean, I could easily see that. I mean, again, I'm not going to.
The only way we wouldn't be able to is if we traded for one of those big name quarterbacks that everybody else wants. So if we convince the Rodgers or whoever, Wilson, whoever to come here, then I think we would lose out on some of those free agents.
Yeah, but we're not like if we have Cam Newton,
If he balls out,
if he balls out, we're not trading for any other. We don't have the draft capital to be able to do it, even if we wanted to.
Exactly.
So
I'm going to bring up the Washington injury report real quick. Kendall Fuller's their best corner. He didn't practice Wednesday, and he was limited Thursday and Friday. He's questionable for the game. Curtis Samuel actually didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday and was limited Friday, and he's questionable.
I know we love Kirko, but how many games has he really played for them?
Exactly.
Yeah,
he's injury prone.
Yeah, I heard something this morning on the radio that makes a lot of sense. Poor old Curtis Samuels will look real good during his contract year.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he got his contract with somebody else, he's back to injury report. Well, I'm not saying that sounds like that may have sounded like that, but I'm not saying that's purposely done. But
no, it's just
he just got bad luck or something.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Like
once
he also went back to Ryan Vermillion.
Once he converted his body, I think he became injury prone.
Right.
Well, and you got to remember too, he's playing for Ron Rivera, and Ron Rivera is notorious for not being able to manage injuries well.
No.
Right.
He's an '80s guy, man.
But then, of course, Ron Rivera had I don't forgot his name, RV working for him too. So that don't help his injury situation.
Yeah, Ryan Vermillion.
Yeah, it does not help his situation. Yeah. But hey, real quick, I wanted to pass it to my man Nick. I think Nick said he's got to get out of here. I appreciate you hanging out with us, bro. And before you leave, I gotta get a score prediction from you, and just tell me what you're thinking, man.
33-9, Carolina. And Joey Sly
right there with you.
Joey Sly misses an extra point.
Is he still playing?
And a field goal. He plays for Washington, dude.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wasn't he with the Texans when we played him?
Yep.
Yeah, he's been bouncing around, dude.
Us up, right? I mean, Jesus.
He said he's gonna keep going around the league until he can find somebody.
He wants a revenge game really bad.
Hey,
really
he's gonna find a football team that's happy with his 50%, kick of whether or not it'll go in or be a complete miss.
He'll
find some team.
3%.
He's like the quarterback with the big arm. Is that every coach thinks that they can get him to be.
He's Ryan Mallett, but with kickers.
Hey, how much money you want to bet he goes to Miami after this?
Oh, 100%.
All right, guys. Hey.
Yeah.
So
Nick,
probably
I
every
appreciate you,
special
brother.
teams coach thinks they can save him.
Man.
Have a good one, guys.
Love, bro. Later, man.
Hey, real fast.
Yeah. So
it's not. It's nothing to do with really Panthers, but I remember T Money brought up Brian Leftwich. I thought it was a missed opportunity not bringing him into Jacksonville. I thought it was like easy, like having him come in. Jacksonville coach. He was a Jacksonville quarterback. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you what
anything. But you remember, their owner is not from the state, so he sees big name Urban Meyer.
Yeah, he did he not have his eye on Urban Meyer's long before he fired his old coach?
Yep.
But is Urban has Urban turned it around down there, or is everybody kind of still predicting he's going to be one and done?
He got lucky a couple of times.
No, because I mean, the last I heard, everybody was like projecting that he's going to be one and done for.
He's going to have heart problems, and he's going to leave for college.
Not him getting fired. They figure Urban Meyer will pull a Nick Saban and leave.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't already done it.
Yeah, he'll go to USC or Miami. I hear Miami is trying to throw everyone millions of dollars to be their new head coach. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of those wins.
He's like a Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin will just leave
Nick Saban. Well, look, Nick Saban was the same way. Nick Saban was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins and then hightailed it back to college. I mean,
deal with the Falcons.
Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, dude, Bobby Petrino was.
He left a letter in the locker room, and all the guys were like, "Man, fuck you."
Nah, he was smart. As soon as he found out about that Vic shit, he was ready to go.
Was that at the same time?
But dude, he was the guy that went on the radio station, right? And they were asking him about one of those coaching jobs. I think it was where did he end up coaching? Louisville. He went to Arkansas. He was like, "Oh yeah, if that job came up, that'd be my dream job, dude." And he said that while he was the coach for the Falcons, dude. You can't.
Joe Brady say the same thing.
Yeah, he said something similar. He said, "I don't think about that stuff until after the season's over."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that didn't
smart. That's how you're supposed to answer that.
I mean,
I think Josh McDaniels is going to be a head coach next year. I mean, what he's doing in New England.
Wait, who?
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, but
he's waiting for Belichick to retire. He's not.
He's having a great year. I mean that.
Yeah, but he's had that before. Didn't he actually get signed by the Colts? And back out. Yeah.
What's everybody think of Matt Rhule? Do you think Matt Rhule's going back to college next year? I mean,
no. I think it
he looked like a big puppy. I mean,
it's funny because Brad, I was going to ask you this. I know you're not a Matt Rhule fan, but like I said, over the course of, I don't know if you heard me say this, when you listen to Matt Rhule's pressers now, it really does seem like at first he was kind of upset about the Cam Newton thing, almost like this was kind of forced onto him. But I think now that he's had an opportunity to be around Cam, I think he really likes Cam, and even kind of views Cam as the embodiment of what he wants the team to be. And how
he said he's the brand, right? That's what he said in his verbiage today. So
I think his personality meets well with Cam's more than Ron Rivera ever did.
I kind of do too. But go ahead, Brad.
See, here's the problem that I have. Like, okay, as great as it is that Cam's back, he wouldn't have had to go anywhere for Matt Rhule. Bottom line, right?
Yeah.
They could have let him play out. So they could have let him play out his contract. They could have, evaluated him for his injuries then. They didn't. They chose to move on and go with Teddy Bridgewater. And that was 100% of Matt Rhule's decision. Matt Rhule was openly saying that if I ever made it to call it to the NFL, Teddy Bridgewater is the guy I want to have under center, right? He openly said that multiple times.
Him and Joe Brady, they both made that decision together.
So they chose to move on from Cam. They chose to pay for Teddy Bridgewater. They chose to trade for Sam Darnold and pick up his 5th-year option and re-sign Cam. So as great as it is, I mean, that's kind of like what I'm trying to find a good analogy for that. That's like really going around. It's really going ass over elbow, right? I mean, for lack of a better term. I mean, it really, really is. Like that's not how you build a winning franchise. And I think that it might work out this year because they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle, but I don't think that that's a sustainable model for success.
Honestly, I don't put it past them to, even if we make the playoffs, still draft a quarterback next year.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, if they're, let's be real, if they're extending Cam Newton, if they're giving him 2 more years, it's purely to groom a replacement, to groom the next guy up.
Will we have a high enough draft pick to get a quarterback though? If we're in the playoffs
in
this draft, yes. In this draft, the quarterbacks are not very good. So
but hold on, let's add some context.
People will take it.
But okay, so the 2 big quarterback names are Matt Corral and Malik Willis.
Detroit's taking the quarterback.
I don't think.
So that's the thing. Both of those guys, like quarterbacks, always end up getting overvalued because they're so valuable. So even if Corral and Willis aren't necessarily like, they might not stack up against quarterbacks from years past, but there's still going to be a run on quarterbacks if there's a bunch of quarterback needy teams that need one. But if the Panthers, but also what Brad said earlier too, like if we're able to make a run here and we're able to actually win the NFC South, then I still think the mid to high 20s isn't somewhere where I would have the Panthers picking a quarterback. Again, so much of it is conjecture because it's dependent upon how the season ends. Right. Like if we go 9-8 and just narrowly miss the playoffs, but show some signs of life, then yeah, I can see them potentially signing Cam Newton to an extension, then drafting a quarterback that you can kind of groom under Cam Newton. But what I'm here to tell you is that if the best case scenario ends up being true, that we actually do see the best Cam Newton that we've ever seen before, and we make a deep playoff push, I think doing anything other than continuing to build around Cam Newton would be absolutely foolish.
Honestly, if you're going to re-sign Hassan Reddick, bring back Stephen Gilmore, possibly re-sign Dante Jackson, you're in win now mode. You don't draft a rookie quarterback. You spend those assets on building that offensive line and building the other pieces around the fringe edges. Quarterback is not in your thought process at that point because you already bringing P.J. Walker back. So you've got your backup quarterback. You've got Sam Darnold under contract for next year because his contract is guaranteed. You're not thinking about a rookie quarterback because you're in win now mode if you're bringing those guys back.
This is what I'll say.
With this upcoming draft, when you look at our defense, there are areas that there's one area in particular that I'm thinking of that we would need to get a guy.
Linebacker.
And Cody said that Shaq's doing his best Thomas Davis impression. Well, Thomas Davis had a Luke Kuechly. If you get a linebacker that you can pair with Shaq back there and he can be reminiscent of Luke, this defense for the foreseeable future will be one that teams fear playing.
I would say safety is the one spot to me on defense.
My question is my answer to the safety position would be to move Dante to free safety. Like I've said it before, with Dante's speed, like you have, and Dante's showing this season that he ain't got no issue coming up and thumping people.
Yeah, he can tackle now.
Yeah,
Dante, you're not throwing anything deep. You throw it across the middle, Chin's gonna wreck the receiver or the tight end. Then you have a Luke Kuechly type middle linebacker who's countering, like he's audibling to a better play to better counter the offense the quarterback just tried to get into. You'd have a defensive line that, like, I don't think Derek Brown has been getting enough love because that man has been anchoring that line to the greatest.
He has been amazing.
I mean, I would have two things to say to that. One, for Dante, it's a difference in being able to tackle on one side of the field where you're also using the sideline as another defender and you submarining people, and you playing free safety and you got to tackle whoever comes up in there through there. It's a difference in being able to cut somebody down and somebody having the whole field to work with. And two, I mean, we got to think realistically. If I'm Dante and this is my contract year, do I want to get paid? Do I want to get paid number one corner money, or do I want to get paid free safety money?
We can still
almost like Taylor Mountain
corner money and just ask him to play a little because his interceptions this season, they've typically it's been him essentially playing like a free safety role. I say all of that to say my ideal scenario and what I'm hoping to see is, like Cody said, the best years of Cam Newton are ahead of him. I'm hoping to see Cam go out there and we possibly win out the rest of this season for however long the Carolina Panthers play. And they bring Cam back and he's able to duplicate that as a starter from game one. So now it allows other positions to be filled out, fleshed out. And then towards the end of Cam's tenure, like when like the thing. So in my head, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, let's say Cam plays for another 6-7 years. And in the last 2 years, they draft his successor. And they go to Cam and they say, hey, would you be willing? They're like, they go to Cam and they say, would you be willing to be the backup QB? Because my ideal backup QB is a starter whose talent is somewhat diminished. Could you imagine a situation where you have somewhat of a rookie quarterback starting, and Cam Newton's still on the team, and you could occasionally throw Cam out there and ask him to do what he did last week?
They messed that up already. the plan should have been Cam was your starter, and you draft Justin Fields, and Cam is the bridge to Justin Fields.
Listen, I still think PJ can be that bridge. Like,
yeah, and I 100% agree.
Didn't take over the 49ers till he was 31.
So, okay, look, I'll say this.
Remember that.
Like, I really, if we're going to get another quarterback, I don't think this is the year to do it. I think we should just re-sign Cam. And by the way, I think PJ Walker can be a tremendous backup quarterback. I mean, look what he was able to do even last week, man. He played in rhythm. He had a lot of big-time thirds down. I mean, PJ has arm talent.
Listen,
no one can deny that PJ has arm talent.
Oh, but here's an interesting tidbit that a lot of people probably don't know is the quarterback at Pitt right now is an old Matt Rhule Temple commit. So based off of their relationship, the Pitt pretty good year, eventually later on in I can't remember his name.
I heard what you said. Kenny Pickett, I think is his name. The quarterback.
They got Dan Morgan up there looking at him.
By the way, Tim, your microphone was kind of cutting in and out. So I don't know if everybody heard everything you said. But before we jump into that, I want to give Bat Daddy an out real quick. I want to give my man a chance to plug his podcast, which I'm going to be on tonight. Yeah, so, and before you do that, man, give me a score prediction. Let me know your final thoughts on this Carolina Panthers Washington football team matchup, and then when you're done, we'll plug all the stuff.
Score prediction. I think we scored just short of 40. Man, I'm looking at like 37. Yeah, I'll say 37 points, and I'm right there. The prediction earlier, but probably give me 37-10, 37-11, something like that. I think we're going to embarrass them. Cam's going to come back strong, man. This may be a career performance for him. Maybe it'll continue. Hopefully, it'll continue through that. But I think this is going to be a career performance for him. And I'm sorry, what was the second other than the score?
No, I mean just like what you is there any other matchups you think are going to be important in the game? Something to look out for? Just any final thoughts about the game itself? At all?
Not really, man. I think I'm just going to see Cam Newton take off right here, and I think we're going to see an amazing performance of Christian McCaffrey. I think Shaq Thompson's going to be all over the field because I don't think that Shaq Thompson got the play time he deserved. You know, when Ron Rivera was there.
Yeah,
and maybe he's gonna show him why. You know, he was wrong about that. So we'll see.
Man. It's gonna be fun. I love it. Bat Daddy, I'm going to be joining you tonight.
Yes,
on the Super Civil
How you feel about it,
podcast. Hold on, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find this podcast, where they can listen and be a part.
You can find it right here on the YouTubes, just like you're watching this show right here. Look up at Super Civil Servants Podcast. We go live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do this every Friday. Tonight we're talking about Shang-Chi, Arcane, the Spider-Man trailer, Discovery Season 4 premiere, Foundation on Apple TV. Lots of really fun stuff. Next week we got Ghostbusters, the finale of Arcane. We're going to start our Matrix coverage for a retro watch because Matrix 4 is coming out real soon. Hawkeye comes out soon. We got a lot of stuff to cover, y'all, and we just covered a little bit of everything. If you've got an idea for something you want us to watch and check out, throw it my way. But Cody, I can't wait for you to come on, man. It's gonna be really fun. And have you watched all of Arcane? Did you watch all 6 episodes?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've watched it twice. I've watched
so good.
it twice.
I watched Shang-Chi twice. I watched it once again right before I got on the show. So.
Was Bill Murray at the end of the trailer for Ghostbusters? Was that his voice?
Bill Murray?
Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Yeah, was that his voice when they?
I don't remember from the trailer, but I'm pretty sure he's in it. Yeah.
I mean, I heard his voice. It's not like him.
I'm going to see it tomorrow, so it's gonna be fun.
Well, it's already coming out.
Yeah, it came out yesterday, I believe, or last night, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Well, Daddy, I appreciate you, brother. I look forward to our conversation tonight, and I will see you a little bit later, man.
Yeah, man. Everybody else, keep it real, keep pounding. I'll see y'all Sunday.
Keep it pounding, peace and
love.
By
the way, Bill Murray owns a baseball team down here in Charleston. He lives down here.
Yeah, I did know. I want to say I did know that.
River Dogs.
I've seen that podcast.
I've seen him a couple of times. He came in a couple of restaurants that I worked in. He's pretty cool. He'll take your French fry and be like, "No one's ever going to believe you," and then walks away.
Yeah, I've seen a movie with him talking about doing that shit.
That's
All right, later, Bad Daddy.
All right,
I'll see
later,
you later on tonight.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, let's continue to build upon this this conversation, man. Is there any key matchups that any of you are going to be looking for in this game? You know, maybe
the linebackers versus the Washington Redskins or Washington football team's running backs. I really think that's going to be an interesting matchup.
I think it's going to be a good matchup to watch. It's going to be how many times Heineken is picking himself up off the field.
Yeah.
So okay, look, I normally don't call out people in the chat room, but to Peaceful Savage, man, like, okay, it's one thing if you think PJ is the better option, but like, I've seen your comments and you're like, man, Cam's only going to get 2 touchdowns. Like, I don't understand why zero belief in Cam Newton. Like, doesn't he at least get the chance first? Does none of the things that we have said on this podcast, do none of them mean anything at all?
First of all,
the best weapons that Cam Newton has ever had, the offensive line playing the best that it ever has, a healthier, older Cam Newton that has a you know, his shoulder is good now. I'm sorry, man. I just have no reason to not be excited about Cam Newton. And
first of all, his name doesn't make sense. Peaceful Savage?
Peaceful
That don't make no sense.
Well, Cody, you got to remember, Cam haters are going to hate no matter what. So
PJ needs a chance. I mean, but my thing is, what does PJ Walker give the football team that Cam Newton doesn't? Because if you're only making the argument that PJ Walker is a more accurate quarterback, like, is that what you're saying? Because PJ Walker does nothing but throw red zone interceptions. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
not a thing.
Like,
yeah.
Let me ask you.
The only thing you could say is until we can you could say that PJ have a better deep ball or a better arm strength than Cam.
But even that throw to DJ last week wasn't like everybody's making a big deal like it was underthrown. He still put it in a position where it could be caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He still drew a pass interference penalty because that ball was catchable. So as much as everybody wants to sit back and be like, oh, his arm's shot, he underthrew it, he didn't, you know, whatever. Just please.
Exactly.
Please.
Let
Stop.
PJ grow.
Yeah,
But if you pay attention to Matt Rhule said anyway, Matt literally jumping off of the PJ bandwagon anyway. What he said was, can't start, PJ will more than likely play. So he'll probably have Cam on that first snap that had that moment back in Carolina. But I could see them doing more of the both playing we did last one.
Yeah, you can count on a backup quarterback to give you usually 1 or 2 wins a season. You can't expect them to win more than that. I mean, people need to stop acting like this happened every year that Cam got injured, right? First, Kyle Allen was the savior of this team, and then it was Taylor Heineke, and then just stop, please.
What I say is that
I always brought back when that went down.
You look and Cam both play until after Atlanta. I didn't have the playbook all the way down.
Hey, T, you might want to exit the chat and then come back in, or try and fix your audio or something, because it keeps on cutting out on you. Kenneth was just saying. Kenneth, I think you were trying to say something.
Yeah, one thing. Let's. If PJ Walker was available right now, who would he be an upgrade to on another team? Not many. Just as far as the starter, there's not a lot of teams that would be a major upgrade.
Maybe Houston.
Maybe you're right. So let's understand PJ's good backup, but that's kind of where it's at. A lot of teams wouldn't even go 2 feet from him because according to Panthers.com, he's only 5'11". So there's teams that absolutely wouldn't even use him as a quarterback. I mean, even the Texans have a backup quarterback that's been in the league for several years now, and they decided to make him a tight end out of the blue because he can run.
And Russell Wilson's 5'11".
So
Yeah,
but Russell Wilson's also got a good history to back that up, and a coach who doesn't mind that. A lot of coaches don't want a short.
I'm just saying
at all.
PJ can still be very viable in the future.
Well,
Steve
that's
Young,
possible.
Steve Young wasn't Steve Young until he was 31.
Though that gets you Cam out something.
I believe if they saw, and Matt Rhule and his staff know more than we do, but if they saw that PJ was going to be a future starter, they would have already done that. They would have said, "Thanks, Cam, but we got PJ, and we're going to go with that," and they didn't. So
I think Cam's way better than PJ. I'm just not saying.
Yeah, I don't even understand why we're still debating this. To be honest, I mean,
because
you can't forsake the experience that Cam has, like that knowledge and experience that he has over the 10 years, 11 years he's been in the NFL. PJ, the time might come for PJ to be that guy, but it ain't right now. Like
exactly,
the energy and everything that Cam brought with him. And you saw how the entire team responded to it.
And by the way, one more thing I wanted to add to this too, like especially quarterbacks that end up playing like two or more decades, like guys that end up doing that, they're able to transition to like a latter half of their career. So, for example, right, if you look at someone like Ben Roethlisberger early in his career, all of his passing yards were down the field. They did a lot of down the field attacking with him. And then later on, not necessarily even because he couldn't throw the ball deep anymore, but they just changed the offense to benefit the players that they have around them. I think Cam Newton, we're finally getting a chance to see him in a comfortable spot where he can elevate his game to the next level after already playing 10 years of NFL football. I mean, him evolving his game to the next step in his career, he deserves the opportunity to be able to do that, man. And I think that now we're finally going to give him, that opportunity.
And PJ, like I said, Jake Delhomme didn't start for us till he was 28.
Right.
PJ's 27. I mean, things can happen. Crazy things. Keep him in the back. Keep him at second string. Let him learn. Let him build.
I would definitely not let PJ walk away. I would definitely re-sign him.
But real quick, I understand where people want to doubt Cam because of his injuries, because they don't see the updated.
You're a Panther fan. You're pessimistic.
They don't see the updated version. You can go back to this podcast when I first come on here. I had doubts whether Cam had his arm strength. I just did. Why? Because I have to see it before I believe it. I believe this before I believe this, because this has lied to me too many times. Now, that being said, I've seen Cam here the other day. I've seen that arm strength. I also seen some practices clips where he's got good arm strength. Now, do I think he can come out and perform a 500-yard game? Yeah, that might be pushing a little bit right now. But Cam's been off for 2 months. He said it the other day. He's as healthy as he's been in a couple years.
Yeah,
I just want to see it. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
And when it comes to arm strength in this league, you don't really need great arm strength.
No, and anybody.
No, I mean,
quarterback who had arm surgery.
But if we're judging, and again, not with our hearts because we love Cam. Honestly, that wasn't the best ball placement on that Robbie Anderson touchdown.
It wasn't. He should have been a little bit further out.
I didn't see the play.
But there is a little bit of rust there, but it appears though, like we had talked about earlier. I'm not certain who was in the chat then, but Cam's playing more smarter football than he was playing smarter football back in the day. Back in the day, Cam would have just put his head down and rammed it in. Now he's playing a little bit more smarter football.
And
that'll go a long way.
That's the thing that Cody's been saying. a more cerebral game. I think Cam is he's at that in the short layover he had with New England. I think that helped them out significantly. Also,
he
really started doing that with Norv, though.
Yeah, Norv started it in everything. And the thing that separates the great quarterbacks from the good quarterbacks, the thing that separates the elite quarterbacks from the great quarterbacks, the thing that separates the GOATs from everybody else is their processing of information. Yeah. It's not so much their talent. Like you see, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I think he's in like a league of his own because he has a combination of the two. But then you see a guy like Tom Brady who well, for the last 2 games, he's kind of shown that he's getting old. But those are the things that made them the creme de la creme, if you want to say that. I think we're going to see, and if that is the Cam Newton we see, a more cerebral Cam Newton. I don't know why every time I say cerebral, I think about Triple H. Anyway,
that's his nickname, Cerebral Assassin.
But you know, kind of you know, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. We don't need Cam Newton to be. We don't need him to be dropping 50-yard bombs.
No,
we don't. No, we need to accept there's going to be rust. There's going to be rust.
We need Mac Jones versus Atlanta.
We need average quarterback play. If we have average quarterback play, then we are a Super Bowl contender with
his defense.
Absolutely.
So, by the way, Matt Rhule did an interview where he was asked specifically about snap counts. I'll let you guys hear his full answer.
How much of that playbook does he know right now? Obviously enough where you're going to start him, but where is he at in terms of that?
I think it's probably less the overall system and more just sort of this game plan. You know, as we put plays up on 1st and 2nd down, on 3rd down, and on red zone that we think are good versus Washington. You know, a lot of them, he said, "Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, I've done that. You know, hey, I can do that." If it's something that he's not comfortable with, something that we just kind of have slid over to PJ, and our hope is that both guys can play and play at a high level. And people are always worried about playing 2 quarterbacks, and usually it's different. It's a different type. It's usually like, hey, you don't feel like you have 1 quarterback, so you're going to try to play 2 guys. We think we have a guy in PJ that obviously can go out and play at a high level, and we have one of the great impact players in the game, and Cam Newton. So we're going to try to utilize both as best we can. And, we can take advantage of both guys.
Cam has a certain positive aura about him, and he really galvanizes a locker room. Do you feel like you have a more confident group now in that locker room with him coming back?
Well, I don't know that we weren't confident before, so I'd hate to diminish that. I just think
you weren't.
I just think that Cam, after having been here before and then gone to New England, he's come back and he's made it very clear to me, like, hey, listen, I believe in what you believe in. We both believe that, there's a standard here of the way that we're going to prepare and play. We believe in, that winning is the most important thing. It's not about any one guy. And so I think when your best players believe in that, when they believe in preparation, when they believe in practice habits, when they believe in getting to the game and executing in the game, then it has a great effect on everybody else. And so I think the biggest thing, we have a young football team. I think we're like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th youngest team in the league. When you have Stephon Gilmore, when you have Cam Newton, when you have guys that have done it at the highest levels, they bring a confidence to the group. When they tell a guy, hey, you'll be fine, you can do this, guys have more of a tendency to believe. And so I think they're helping some of our younger players, go down this stretch run this last 2 months of the season, hopefully with just a little bit more confidence.
So there you go. There's Matt Rhule talking about snap count, saying that PJ Walker, he'll have some areas to get into the game on Sunday, which, again, man, it makes sense when they said that they're not necessarily trying to get Cam up to speed on the playbook. They're trying to get him up to speed on the game plan. And I can understand where there's some scenarios where PJ is just slightly more tenured in this system, and that's why they would want to bring him in those scenarios. But that thing that Matt Rhule said at the end, that's what I was talking about when I was saying to you, Brad, that I feel like now that Matt Rhule has gotten a chance to be around Cam Newton, see the way that he operates, see how he runs the huddle, see how he's able to elevate the people around him. I mean, even that answer, like, yeah, we all know the answer is that Cam Newton has given, this team more hope than they ever had before. But he also gave the coach answer too. Is like we've always believed in ourselves.
No,
but Cam,
you haven't.
I mean, maybe look. I think
I think the biggest thing, it wasn't even so much about Cam. It was about, it takes a lot for a man to admit that he was wrong from a prideful standpoint.
100%.
I can, I can respect that, but at the same time, like the whole statement of, "Oh, we were confident beforehand." Your damn quarterback was crying after he threw an interception 2 weeks ago, man. You can't sit there and tell me that you were confident.
Really listen to that conversation. Everything Matt Rhule said was the opposite of what Sam Darnold is.
Right.
Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy
He
Bridgewater.
had to sit there in the media and say, "Oh, my leader should be the first one out on the field," and of course, Sam Darnold was the first one out on the field the next day. You don't have to say that for Cam to do that. Cam's automatically going to do that because Cam is a leader.
I'm gonna make this analogy for my anime and superhero fans and stuff. In these stories where like individual or a group has powers, but they're not used to the powers. It takes a lot of training, a lot of focus, and things of that nature. Most of the time in these stories, there's an element that is given to this character that allows them to not only harness the power but fully control it. That's essentially what Cam Newton's done for the Carolina Panthers. All of the speed, the energy, the technique, the talent that the team had as a whole. When you brought Cam back, he allowed the team to focus. And now if I'm saying it right now, this defense, I don't see any team beating us if this defense plays the way it plays and Cam goes out there and does what Cam does. There's not a team this defense can't go toe to toe with. There's not a team that this offense won't be able to score on.
You know what I think about when I see Sam Darnold? I think I'm seeing ghosts out there. When I see Cam Newton, I think Giants scoring a touchdown, him looking, going like,
"Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about."
Exactly. When I see that, I haven't seen that.
Sam was about baby.
No word. Just the look on his face is like, "Okay, we got this."
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
And, you
want to be my dad? Okay. I got something.
Well, and, I wasn't a major Cam fan. Like, he infuriated me for a long time. People forget that, Carolina's never had back-to-back winning seasons, and as great as Cam is, he's a part of that problem, right? Or he's a part of that dynamic. But really, for me, like, what really sold me on him was all or nothing, right? Watching him interact with the players, watching his work ethic, and then just watching him grow over the past few seasons. I mean, I'm 100% bought in after all or nothing. Like, it was the thing that really won me over.
And Brad, I think a lot of people are like you in that maybe they saw Cam Newton a certain way because of press conferences or things.
A lot of it has to do with Auburn.
Yeah, a lot
of the hate has to do with Auburn.
Well, Auburn, but it's also a mixture of like off the field stuff. It's a mixture of like media telling you one thing about Cam Newton, and then the person that he actually is couldn't be any different than how he's portrayed. Like, he's always been portrayed, and I know you're talking about some on the field stuff too. And again, everybody has to take responsibility for their own mistakes. But Cam Newton, for whatever you want to say about the guy, no one can question the kind of work ethic that he has,
and the energy he brings,
the kind of leadership that he has. And when I say leadership, it's like going back to Teddy Bridgewater, when we all felt like he was throwing his teammates under the bus for something that he should have taken the blame for. Like, regardless of whether or not it was or wasn't on the quarterback on that certain play, if you're the leader of the football team, you should be putting it all on yourself. The team lives and dies by me.
Matters.
And Cam Newton has always done that his entire career here in Carolina, and I think that you have to respect that.
And his energy changes the room no matter where he's at, on the football field, off the football field. I've personally been to 2 of Cam's Thanksgiving jams that he does for the kids, and he's the same way off the field. When he gets around them or in front of them and he acting silly with them and asking them different questions about themselves and their family and this, that, and other, he changes the energy of the room.
He's the energy changer. That
I'm
matters.
really- and, you know,
Doesn't
people-
matter where you can just put
Look
any quarterback.
what he means to the community off the field, though. Too. I mean, look at what he's done for the Charlotte community. You know,
Truth.
I remember a story. I think it was like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, where he apparently went and bought a bunch of clothes and just dropped them off underneath the bridge to a bunch of homeless people in Charlotte. And,
No
you know, and the
cameras
thing
around.
is, no cameras, no
Oh my God.
notification, no nothing. The only reason that anybody found out about it was because the homeless person recognized him and told the reporters what happened. He didn't ask for anything. He didn't ask for any recognition. I mean,
when he brought up that, I just reminded me of a video. It's probably not good for Cam Newton, but like he brought some food. It was a Thanksgiving thing. He brought the food to a homeless guy, and the homeless guy was talking shit about his play, the previous play.
No, I remember that, dude. It was in Charlotte.
What
It
the
was
fuck,
in
bro? I just gave you
Charlotte.
some food.
No, he was giving out food, and my man's was like, "Yo, Cam, why we so terrible, man? Why you been missing?
Yeah.
Or doing something like that, man." But
Yeah,
like,
just give me some fucking food.
Cam Newton has always been a philanthropist at heart. You know, always trying to do stuff in the
He
community.
said coming out
trying
of
to-
the draft. He said,
yeah, and by the way, like it's also legitimate. His 7-on-7 camps that he does, those quarterback 7-on-7s, a lot of NFL quarterbacks have come and gone through that camp, man. Justin
Deshaun
Fields
Watson.
is there, Deshaun Watson. Yeah, man. Like Cam is always trying to give back, and you see that now, man. Him as soon as he's back on the Panthers, he's giving away 50 tickets to bring Panther fans to the stadium.
Energy.
You have to love that. You have to love
Honestly,
that.
and that's been a different dynamic. I mean, I know because of COVID too, but really once him and TD was gone, who really and Greg Olsen, who really took over as far as being that person giving back to the community?
well, the TD. So Thomas Davis and Greg Olsen still routinely do that, though. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm talking
they're
about
still-
other
Thomas
teams
Davis,
now.
franchise.
Yeah, like other players that are now doing stuff like that. I think Jeremy Chin's probably the player that I would name the most.
Yeah.
Been doing stuff in the Charlotte community and paying respects to other former Great Carolina players. Yeah, man. But listen, I think that right now we're all happy and positive going forward. Like we feel like we have a chance now. Everything is out in front of us. And I've been saying this since before the season started. It's no excuses to anyone. None of our coaches, none of our players. There's no more excuses, man. Now, especially now, Joe Brady has no excuses to not be the best offensive coordinator that he can be. Cam Newton now has no excuses because he
This
has all the
offense
weapons around him.
has
This
no
entire offense has no excuses, man. And everything is kind of falling into place at the right time.
And Cody, like I said, when I called in Tuesday when we signed Matt Barkley, how depressed I was. I was like, I was ready to give up my Phantom. And then we signed Cam Newton, and I'm just the total opposite.
100%. And by the way, Eric, one thing, and then I'll get right to your candidate. Eric Morello says, wife and I are just showing up Sunday without tickets. What do y'all think the chances of getting some good seats at the ticket booth? Well, I don't know what kind of seats
Did you
you're
sign
going
up
to be
for
able to
Cam
get.
Newton?
But hey, man, be prepared to pay $150 per ticket, bro.
Yeah, I got Atlanta ticket. I'll be there for Atlanta.
I want to throw this out. I heard Chris Mortensen on the radio the other day talk, and he gave a prospect about issue related to what we're talking about. The Panthers, right in the time between the Panthers, right before they signed Cam Newton back, they actually Rhule and Joe Brady actually called the Patriots, Belichick, and the offensive coordinator up there to talk about Cam Newton's locker room and leadership ability behind what they haven't seen before, because they didn't know Cam. And once they were told by them that it was excellent, top of the line, Cam was a leader in the locker room. He was never a distraction, and he's definitely not a meat guy. This is reported what Chris Mortensen said Belichick told Matt Rhule. Contrary to the media's opinion, Cam Newton is not a me guy. That's what sparked Matt Rhule to actually talk with Cam himself face to face and give him a chance.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man.
I hate it to the thought we owe Belichick anything, but there it is.
Everything has fallen into place for us. I'm pumped. Guys, I'm going to be doing Greg's podcast here at 9. I'm going to post the link to that in the comment section. But let's get some official predictions going into this game and what you guys think the final score will be. I'm going to go from the bottom right as I'm looking at it on my screen. We'll start with Brad. Brad, what you thinking, man?
Ooh, I think it's going to be closer than folks are predicting. I think probably 27-20. I think Carolina is going to win it. I think Washington will have a game plan, but I think the roof's going to be coming off of Bank of America Stadium. I mean, I know there's no roof, but like the energy is going to be insane. There's no way you're going to stop that home field advantage. I mean, it's going to be a real home field advantage for once.
I'm hoping that it feels like a playoff atmosphere.
It will.
It's just loud, raucous.
It will.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped up. T Money, we'll go to you next, bro. What's your final score prediction for this game?
I will say 45.
Damn.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Go
I
ahead,
just think personally at this point, our defense not only gets takeaways. The biggest difference with Cam is when you get those takeaways and we have good field position, it's 7, not 3, Sam Darnold give it right back. But I just think when our defense turnover is slight, we can capitalize.
Yeah, man. A lot of people are thinking we might put up 40 points. Hey, it is certainly possible, man, for all the reasons that we've just laid out to you here. It's definitely possible, man. Kevin Boshoven, what's going on, bro? Tell me what you think about this game score, man. What do you think it's going to end up being?
I expect 30-10 Carolina. I expect to see a dab. I expect to see a Superman. I expect energy. The craziest game is going to be like when it comes to fans and how they react. I expect nothing but like Seattle when they got that game-winning touchdown with Seattle. Earthquake. I expect the earthquake to happen in Carolina. There's going to be earthquake.
Earthquake in Charlotte. I'm into it. My man Drew, let me know what you think, man. What's going to be the final score? What's your prediction, bro?
Prediction is 35-13 Panthers.
Ooh, I like that. 35-13. Kenneth, Panther Pickle, I need that score prediction, man.
34-3.
I like that. No touchdown.
Dante Jackson gets a pick 6. And Robbie catches a deep pass for a touchdown.
Man,
Nice.
I'm impressed.
Does Reddick get a sack?
Yeah, Brad, you're an old curmudgeon, dude. What the hell?
And I'm the only one, like, you guys are, I mean, wow. I'm an old curmudgeon for giving him for not just completely, like, saying they're going to dunk on Washington.
They did beat Tampa, man. So,
how about
I don't see anything
Washington won the bowl last.
I'll give you my conservative prediction. I think this is a good indicator of who we are as a team. I'm going to say 27-13.
I was saying 24-10, but I thought you would.
I'm going to say 27-13. I think that means the Panthers did everything that we needed to do. By the way, I think that's a garbage time touchdown for Washington. I think our defense plays stellar. I think we're able to run the football up and down the field. And I think Cam is going to be selective, and he's going to take his shots, and he's going to have – I'm going to predict at least 2 passing touchdowns.
I was going to say, Cody, how many passing yards do you think Cam gets?
Oh, I'll say passing yards.
I'd say 200. I don't think that many.
Well, I'll say 260.
I don't think it's going to be much
through the
passing.
air.
I think it's all running mostly.
I'll say 260 through the air. I'll even say 30 yards on the ground.
I think he gets 100 on the ground and 200 passing.
Ooh, all right. Hey, man. That's it. Look, I appreciate everybody joining this edition of the Friday Free For All. If you want to hear me talk about some Arcane, League of Legends, or Shang-Chi, I will be posting the link in the chat room. I'll be joining Greg's show literally right as I get off of this. I appreciate everybody for joining me, man. Everybody being a part of the Friday Free For All. If you haven't done so already, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and so when am I going to see y'all again? Sunday during the post-game show. You already know what it is, Panther Nation. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.